everybody, it's John here. I'm less than a month away from my departure for the Appalachian Trail through hike. And today what I want to do is talk to you a little bit about figuring out how many boils I can get out of a canister. This particular canister is the larger size canister. I've pre-weighed it before we start, and it is 12.9 ounces. It hasn't been used yet, it's brand new. That equates to 367 grams. I'm using the titanium pot for my cook system, and I will be boiling 16 ounces of water. So we're going to see how long it takes to boil that water and how much fuel is left at the end of that boil time, and then we should be able to extrapolate out how many estimated boils we'll get with that particular canister. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, this is a controlled environment test. We're inside, the inside temperature today is about 70 or 72 degrees. And we're at about, I think here we're at about 400 or 500 foot above sea level. So we'll give this a few minutes to boil. Usually takes about 2.5 minutes to boil that amount of water on this BRS 3000 stove. And then we'll take some readings, and I'll get back with you in just a minute. Okay, we're almost to a boil. It's getting real close. And it's starting to boil now. Alexa, launch stopwatch.
Stopwatch is running at 3 minutes, 17 seconds.
Alexa, stop. Okay, so it took us 3 minutes and 17 seconds to boil approximately 16 ounces of water. So that may be more than what I use on some things. Others may require that much. It just depends on the serving size of whatever I'm trying to rehydrate or cook. So let's give this a second here. We'll give the stove a minute to cool down. I'll disconnect the stove from the canister. We'll weigh it and then do a little bit of basic math and see if we can figure out how many boils we can get out of this larger size isobutane fuel canister. So stick with me here for just a minute, and we'll let that cool down, and then we'll come back and break it down and take some measurements. Okay, welcome back. So we did our math. This canister fuel, the canister and fuel together weighs 367 grams, as I mentioned earlier, or 12.9 ounces. The amount of fuel weight in this canister is 220 grams of fuel. It took us 7 grams of fuel to boil 16 ounces of water in 3 minutes and 17 seconds. So therefore, if we take 220 grams of fuel, divide that by the 7 grams it took us, this canister of fuel should give me 31.4 boils. Now that's ideal conditions. To check my math, that seemed awful high. The 100 gram containers, REI did an experiment, and they were able to get 12.5 boils for 100 gram, the little isobutane containers. So doing the math of taking 2.2, which is the difference between 100 and 2.2 times the 7, I was able to come up with, it was about 28 boils. So somewhere around 30 boils is what I should get out of this bigger container. So you figure cooking something hot like coffee or something, oatmeal in the morning for breakfast, and then heating up a meal in the evening at supper, that gives us about 15 days on the large canister. So we know that REI did a study on the smaller canisters, and we know we can get about 12.5 boils out of that. On their 13th boil, the stove fizzled out and the water did not come to a boil. So, a solid 11 to 12 boils is a safe bet. So about 6 days for planning for the smaller canisters. I did not have a brand new small canister here to experiment with. I did have a brand new larger canister, so the numbers were good and spot on. So again, the larger canister, the 220 gram, you can get a 31.4, so a good solid 30 to 31 boils out of this. So what to do with the hot water now? It's kind of a nasty, cloudy day. We're supposed to get a lot of rain, so I'm going to have a spot of tea. I'm going to just have some blueberry tea here to enjoy while I continue to do some work on the computer and work out my plans for the Appalachian Trail through hike. Once again, thanks for joining me today while I talk about how much fuel it takes to, or how many burns you can get out of a canister of fuel. Again, if you see any value in my video, please like it. That helps the analytics and the search criteria. Subscribe to my channel, ring that notification bell so that you get all my updates. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for following and thanks for watching my videos.